Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Shanice, and you're watching We Sound Crazy. And let me tell you this: I love Kanye West too.
Me too.
And I actually, because he asked me to be in his choir when he had the choir.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never publicly mentioned it, but I was like in the choir.
Wait,
Really?
you were in the Sunday service choir?
I was in the Sunday service choir. I did it for like months too. I traveled with them and everything, and I never publicly said anything.
Wow.
And because what happened was, I took Flex to Sunday service. It was like on a Father's Day one time, and I just went just to hear them sing.
Mm-hmm.
And while the sopranos were singing their parts, I was listening and I was like singing along with the sopranos. And then afterwards, Kanye said, "Hey, I saw you over there singing." He said, "Why don't you sing in the choir?" And I said,
We sound crazy.
Part they don't play on the radio.
We starting out with great vocals this episode.
"Oh my goodness.
Good.
Welcome to another week of We Sound Crazy. Your boy Phillionaire is in the ATL. I'm in the building. What up?
What's up, y'all? Claude Kelly is in the building.
What's up? I'm Chuck Harmony. I'm here.
Bacon for Macon is in the building, and I can't stop smiling.
Why you smiling, Timon?
Right, let's tell them why you in case I'm smiling.
I mean, this is truly a dream come true to sit next to this woman.
Thank you.
I've literally been a huge fan since the first time I heard "I Love Your Smile."
Wow.
So,
Thank you so much.
Well, let's
Singer, songwriter, actress,
man.
philanthropist, dancer, mother, wife, so many titles, but she's an amazing human being and a longtime friend of mine.
Yes.
Shanice is in the building. Make some noise.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that
Super excited about
introduction.
that.
Yeah, man. It's well deserved.
Well deserved.
Thank
It's
you.
deserved. It's
I
deserved.
appreciate it.
I always tell people you are one of the nicest people that I've ever encountered in this
Thank
business.
you.
For real.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about you. Like you are exactly the same. When I met you when you were a teenager, you have the same baby face. You're the same person. So and you've always stayed consistent with me over the years. So thank you for that.
We were on the road. I know during the album with Yesterday and When I Close My Eyes and the LaFace album.
The LaFace album, yeah.
that was-
And we actually we went to Japan too.
We sure did.
We did a whole tour. It was Coco from
Yep.
SWV
When she
and
was solo?
Nikki from
That's
Brownstone.
crazy.
Yeah,
Went to Japan.
when she had her solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know y'all were cutting up in Japan.
We had a good
Oh,
time.
we had so
I know
much
you
fun.
got some Phil stories. Tell
Right.
us one of them good Phil stories.
Good Phil
no,
story.
Phil, I don't have any like. All I can remember is when I met him, he was a baby, but he had such a big role at the record company that they didn't want anyone to know that he was. Can I tell your age then?
You can
now?
say- yeah,
He was
you can.
18 years old,
Wow.
but he had a big position and he had to like keep his age hush
Yeah.
because he didn't want people. They didn't want people to treat him differently
Correct.
because
That's
he was
crazy.
so young.
But
Phil.
I remember Shanice was the very first artist to ever write. She sent me a thank you note we did the promo run together, and she sent a nice card with a heartfelt message thanking me for my
And
contribution.
you do that now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I just
Yeah.
want you to know I appreciate it
No,
what
but thank
you
you.
did.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the vocalist.
Thank you.
Because there are singers and then there are premier singers.
Premier.
And some people play at it for yang 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 around the house. And but since day one, it wasn't a question. Like you were gift forward. You're like, what you're gonna know is that I sing.
Thank you.
And I want to know from you who inspired the big voice that we've known since the first single. Who inspired that voice?
Well, I have to give a shout out to my mom because my mom sings and my aunt sings. I come from a musical family. So my dad played the guitar. When my mom was pregnant, she sang the entire 9 months while I was in her belly. And so when I came out, I was 7 months singing Tell Me Something Good by Shaka Khan.
At 7 months?
At 7 months. We have it on cassette.
That's crazy.
I sang Benny and the Jets by Elton John and Jungle Boogie by Kool and the Gang. And nobody believes
the
it until they
diversity
hear
right there?
until they hear the tape. But so my mom was the first, person to inspire me.
Shout out to your
And-
mom. She's in the building.
Yes,
in the
and my
building.
mom.
Hey, mama.
I got to say this. My mom sings with the Emotions now. So she's a part of
Wait,
the
what?
Emotions.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes, the best of my love.
Okay,
Yes.
the Emotions are legendary.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna need a photo later, please, Mom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
So my mom inspired me. And then growing up, oh gosh, so many people like Whitney Houston. I'm obsessed with Karen Clark Sheard. Like,
Okay.
she is one of my favorites.
Insane. Like,
I love Karen Clark. I love Kim Burrell. I grew up loving Michael Jackson. Shaka Khan.
so
The
masters.
list goes on. List goes on and
Do
on
you
and on.
do you remember like the very first album that you just kind of knew top to bottom? Like
that I knew top to bottom.
because I think everybody has that like first that they can remember.
I can't remember. I mean, I used to be obsessed with Michael Jackson. So anything Michael Jackson, I knew all of his albums from top to bottom. So I would say Michael.
That's Michael for me too, by the way.
Off the Wall and Thriller and
It was Mighty Clouds of Joy for me.
wow.
Yeah. In these changing times.
Come
That
on,
album.
Chuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
He saw his voice tremble
Yeah.
in these changing
And
times.
then
How you gonna do me like that?
it's crazy because I just want to say that you can really speak things into existence because I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we took the Greyhound bus here, to California from Pittsburgh so that my mom and I could pursue their singing careers. But when we got there, I'm like, I want to sing too, right? And so I always wanted to meet Michael Jackson. Even when I was a kid, I was like, I want to meet Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. So then when we moved to California, John McClane, who is now over Michael's whole estate, he signed me when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
So by signing to A&M, I actually got to not only meet Michael Jackson, but I got to sing on some of his backgrounds.
Hello, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got to sing on You'll Be There, Behind the Mask, and it was one other one. You'll Be There, Behind the Mask, and there's one other one. Behind the Mask was actually after he passed away.
Yeah.
They added my voice to the song. So I got to work with him.
But see,
Yeah.
the power
Keep the
of
faith. Keep the faith
the
also.
power of
That's how you get
manifesting.
it.
I have a similar story. I mean,
Yeah.
I worked on a song that he put out after he passed called Hold My Hand with Akon.
Okay.
But I was a Michael Jackson. I'm the same way. He was my favorite of all time. And I was like, one day I'm gonna get to, and literally I got to. But it's
See?
crazy how your dreams and hard work can take you to.
Exactly.
And you've had a lot of crazy high
Yes.
pinnacle moments.
yeah.
I.e. the Ella Fitzgerald moment on the
Right.
KFC moment. So I've always wanted to know, like, were you able to interact with her during that?
Yeah.
And what do you remember about just
I remember when I auditioned. At the time, I didn't know who Ella was. I was 8 years old.
Yeah,
I did not know who Ella Fitzgerald was. But I remember my family, my mom, everybody was so excited when I got the part. That was like my first audition. I booked it. It was to scat with Ella Fitzgerald in the Kentucky Fried Chicken
crazy.
commercial.
Yes.
And I just remember when I started scatting back at her, she like jumped like, whoa, like, And I remember her being really sweet. She was really nice to me. And she couldn't believe I was so young being able to scat with her in the
I mean, who says
That
they
is
they
crazy.
scattered with Ella
Right.
Fitzgerald?
Ella
I
Fitzgerald.
scattered with Ella Fitzgerald.
First audition.
Yeah.
jeez.
I was 8 or 9 years old. And then after that, I started, doing a little more acting. And Chip Fields, who is Kim Fields' mom, she put me on stage. And that was my first stage performance. And it was with Kim Fields, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Teresa Randall. And this is before Malcolm did The Cosby. This is before The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
So we all did a play together. So that I was like, at that time, about 9
Wow.
years old.
Do
And
you see-
so,
do
So
you-
were
do you
you
see
were
them-
you
go
were
ahead,
you
guys.
dreaming this stuff up, or was it just happening?
after the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, this was definitely my dream.
Okay.
Like my family never forced me to do it. Like I knew, like I want to do it. As a matter of fact, I used to sit in my closet when I was like 9 years old with my little cousin. I was like 8 and she was like 6. And we would literally pretend like we were in a recording studio and we would write songs. We had our little cassette player and we would write songs and we made up our own business cards and everything. Like
Yeah.
I knew that this is
Directed.
what I wanted to do at a young
awesome.
age.
I was going to ask you because you said Malcolm Jamal Warner and Kim
And Teresa
Fields.
Randall was
Right.
in it.
Yeah. When you see some of these folks now, if you get to see them now, there's got to be a moment when you're like, Look how far, look at us.
Yeah. Like, and then I was the youngest. So when they see me, they're like, little Shanice is all grown up. Like, she's all grown up.
That's a long history of y'all really doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a tough business, too.
And then after I did that, I want to say this, because I got to give a shout out to my boy, Rasan Patterson. Because after I did that, I auditioned for Kids Incorporated. And so I was supposed to sing on the show, but then, I don't know, some things happened. I ended up being the keyboard player and the background dancer. They had me dancing, which I wasn't a trained dancer, but I could always pick up choreography. And so Rasan and I, we did that together when I was like 10. At that point, I was about 10 years old.
We got to get him on the show, too.
Yeah, with Fergie.
We hung out with him in New York a couple months ago, and we told him, he said he watches, so we got to get him on the show.
Yes, you have to get him on the show.
I'd love to know, like, what were those backstage moments like at Kids Incorporated? I remember watching, like, years later when they would do the repeats after school. I would watch Kids Incorporated and see those episodes where you and Rasan were on there. Like, what do you remember about just that whole energy?
I just remember Rasan and I, we were like best friends. As a matter of fact, I know he's gonna be embarrassed that I'm saying this, but we had like a little crush on each other when we were kids.
A little puppy love.
So we were like super close. And I even have a letter after I left the show. He wrote me a letter, and I was in my storage, and I found the letter that he wrote to me at 9 years old or 10 years old, and I sent it to him, and he's like, "How did you still have this letter?" You know, so we were very, very close as kids, and still are. We're still close.
So was this before Star Search?
Yes, this was before Star Search. So after I left the show because they didn't allow me to sing, and I wanted to sing on the show. So my mom pulled me out because I wanted to be out of the show. And then right after I left the show, I won Star Search, and then I ended up getting my own record deal. So it was meant for me to do that.
We're glad you did that.
Yeah.
We're all glad that you and Mom took that turn, because the singing happens and then it's a whole nother world.
Thank you.
So A&M Records. So John McClane signed you?
Yeah, John McClane signed me. I was actually, after I did, I was in a musical called Get Happy. And the musical was about the music of Harold Arlen. And I had to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And the music, Harold Arlen wrote all of the Wizard of Oz songs. Right. And then I had to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow in the musical. So someone told John McClane about me. John McClane came to my musical to hear me sing. And all I know is after that performance, I'm in Herb Alpert's office, you know, meeting with Herb, singing. I think I had to sing a cappella for Herb Alpert in the office. And I got my record deal right after that at 11 years old.
The Discovery album.
11
Discovery,
years old.
yes, that's the album.
Yeah.
I want to say this. So before Discovery, Brian Loren produced that album. But before that album, a lot of people don't know this, but Dick Rudolph, who is Minnie Riperton's widower, he was my executive producer, and he put me in the studio with Tina Marie. So I worked with Tina Marie at 11. I still have the song. It's called You Met Your Match. And I did a song with Tina Marie. Ralph Tresvant and Ricky Bell from New Edition wrote and produced a song for me. We have a whole album that they didn't put out. And it had great songs, but the label felt like, you know, we want to change the direction. You know how like everyone has their opinions and all that. So that album never came out. But I did. Tina Marie was like the first producer that I worked with.
You've just been around legendariness. Since the beginning. I mean, how can you not be great when you're around the greats, right?
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my favorite, one of my favorite songs on that Discovery album, Just a Game.
Yes.
Is one of my favorites. And then
that's one of my favorites.
The 12-inch remix of I Bet She's Got a Boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you really know the album.
I know it.
Simone is our music aficionado.
I know it.
Thank you. Honestly,
he knows the cuts you don't know.
I must say that is definitely one of my favorite albums. Like I can listen to that album in the car and I'm like, man, like I really enjoyed that album. And I wish that, they put a lot of energy into Can You Dance? But there were so many other songs on the album that they didn't release, like Just the Game and The Way You Love Me, and so many other songs, didn't get a fair chance. So that kind of makes me feel a little.
That must be frustrating.
A little frustrating. Yeah.
We sound crazy.
Love Your Smile.
Yes.
From our special guest this week, Shanice, in the building.
One of the best songs of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
It's so funny because when I did that whole album with Narda Michael Walden, right?
Brilliant
And
songwriter.
yes,
producer,
he's the best, one of the best. And so what we did was when we had our first meeting, he said, just give me a bunch of titles, name titles, you know. And so I wrote down like a whole bunch of titles, right? And every song on that album started from my title. So I came up with I Love Your Smile, the title, and all of the songs except Silent Prayer, I named every single song. And I Love Your Smile, I wrote that down because people used to tease me because they say I smile too much, right? So I put I Love Your I wrote I Love Your Smile. And after we recorded the song, I liked it, but I didn't think it was the right first single.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Silent Prayer with Johnny Gill to be the first single, right? And Gerald Busby said, well, I'm not changing it. I'm putting out I Love Your Smile. And I cried tears. I was like,
Really?
it's too, I said, it's too happy. Like, it's too, I wanted to be a rapper when I was younger. I know this sounds funny, but I used to love,
Wait.
for real. In my head, I was a rapper, right? And I used to love MC Lyte and Salt and Pepper and Queen Latifah and everybody. And when I heard the rap and I Love Your Smile, I was like, it's too happy. Like, this isn't hard like the other rappers.
You're trying to be MC Lyte.
I wanted to be like MC Lyte.
I Love Your Smile.
Exactly. And so Gerald was like, I'm not changing it. So they put it out and literally overnight
Exploded.
it just exploded. And I said, oh, I'm glad they didn't listen to me because I was wrong.
Yeah, you can go nowhere without
But
hearing
Silent Prayer should have been the second single though.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do remember
agree with
that getting radio play where I lived and always wondered, why didn't they do a video for it?
Right, for Silent Prayer.
I'm
with
still
Johnny
upset
Gill.
about
Like
that.
Johnny Gill's amazing. Like
course,
we should have had a whole music video
Yes.
together. But you know how it is when you work with the record companies and everybody got different opinions and you have to try to come together and
They be messing up a lot of stuff though. Let's keep it real.
Right, yeah.
Because I mean, the people want what the people want.
Right.
I want to know, going from your first album into the second one, right? Did you feel, because of course you're a little bit older,
Yeah.
did you feel like, okay, I can, because you said you went into Gerald Busby's office and was like, yo, I want this as the first single.
Right.
Did you feel like you had the autonomy to say, hey, I want this to happen on my album? Like Narda was telling you, hey, just give me a bunch of song titles, that kind of thing. Did you feel like you were in control of that process? Or did you kind of step back and let people
You know
do
what?
their thing?
I had like my opinions, but I was always very shy back then. And I never wanted to like, I didn't want the record company to think I'm being difficult or, so I always tried to be a great team player and try not to complain and this and that. But when I look back at it now, I'm like, man, I wish I would have, on certain things, I wish I would have not been as shy, and it kind of spoke up more about things that I wanted. And I didn't do that. So I kind of regret that in a sense. But I didn't want I was like, but I don't want them to think I'm being like difficult. Yeah. So
but
that's what I went
That's
through.
also, I mean, for being real, that's a hard balance of being a Black artist and a Black female artist in this business.
Yeah.
Is that balance of you don't want them to, you don't want the reputation of, oh, she's difficult, because that can be a mark against you, right? As people talk.
Right.
At the same time, you also have to have
Be
autonomy.
who you are.
Yeah, you have to have control over what your instincts and what you think is right. It's just such a hard balance. People don't know, on the outside don't know. The politics is not just the decision making, but it's when to push and when to fall back and who not to piss off.
Exactly.
We sound crazy.
Make it, take the back.
So that song was on the Meteor Man soundtrack.
Yes.
And I
Meteor Man.
I co-wrote the song with Michelangelo and Eric from Portrait.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but the label is not on any of the streaming platforms. So people cannot find it. So I get hit up, fans hit me up all the time saying, I want to download It's For You, and it's not there. So actually a couple of days ago, which is crazy that you're playing this song, I went in the studio with Michelangelo and Eric.
Wow.
And we re-recorded it. So
Yes.
we're gonna put it out, and we literally like recorded exactly like the
same.
record. So everybody that wants to hear it, you're gonna hear it
can't wait.
again.
That's
It's gonna-
so dope.
we re-recorded it.
Your
so
fans about to lose their mind over that.
I'm really excited
That's
about
smart
it.
to do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found an
That's
old
dope.
maxi single of that in the store like maybe about a couple months ago, and I
Really?
snatched it. Yeah, I had to
my
have it. Yeah.
gosh. Oh my god.
Can I tell you one of my favorite Shanice moments real fast?
Yeah.
So as a youngin, being way too grown, I was watching Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh yeah.
Loved that show back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yes, me too.
And they were like, ladies and gentlemen, Shanice. And I was like, what's gonna happen? And that song, was it Saving Forever for You?
I did that song with Diane Warren wrote it,
Yeah.
and David Foster produced it.
Listen.
Like Shanice is one of those ones, like in my
So
family.
good.
Anytime she came on TV, Soul Train, Apollo, like we stopped.
Family
Aw,
Matters.
thank
Family
you.
Matters.
I was-
like,
I was so
Family
jealous of
Matters with
Eddie.
Darius.
like, Shanice coming on
I was
TV,
so
Shanice
jealous
coming on
of Eddie.
TV. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And you know, Darius wrote that song too that we did on Family
Really?
Matters. Yeah, he wrote
Didn't know
that.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was really singing up there.
Yeah.
Why you hate on Eddie Winslow so
Because
bad?
everyone wanted to be dating Shanice, and he was up there just romancing. And I'm like, nah, get out
Her
of here,
and
son.
Tracy. Like,
Right.
They were both
And
on Family
Tracy.
They
Matters.
were both on there.
Yeah.
He was greedy. Eddie was greedy.
But Saving Forever for You was actually, I
I
think,
love that song.
chart wise, that was actually my second biggest song.
Really?
So on the 100 chart, I think it went to like number 4 or
Yeah.
something like that.
That song, I remember it came on the end of the episode, and I was like, that is how you end a hit show episode. It was just so good. And I remember I bought it right away. And that's also how I got really introduced. I was reading credits back then.
Yeah.
So it was like
Oh,
Diane
credits.
Warren.
I missed that.
And because now I'm learning her sound.
Yeah. Oh,
And
amazing.
and there's a sound.
Yeah.
And the way you just float over that record is
Thank you.
masterful.
What do you remember about working with Diane Warren?
First of all, she's funny.
Yes,
She makes me
very.
laugh.
Hilarious.
Right? And she has a bird
Yes, she does.
named Buttwings. I don't know if you guys know the bird's name, but Buttwings is still alive. Buttwings was alive when we did Saving Forever for You. And I asked her recently, do you still have that
We
bird?
saw
She said,
Buttwings.
Buttwings is still alive. I'm like, what? So I loved, work with her because she was so down to earth. I loved her personality and she knows her stuff. And I was just honored to work with one of the greats, and to this day, we still stay in touch and everything. But I was excited to get a hit song from Diane Warren David Foster producing it was like a dream come true.
Well,
for me.
the whole combination was a dream come true.
Yeah.
Another song that I love that you did was on another soundtrack. Like you were on a lot of soundtracks back in the day.
Yeah.
Boomerang, Don't Wanna Love You.
Boomerang, yes.
That record, and
That's
I
a
think,
song right there.
and you went on Soul Train and you did that, and I think it was another song you did. It was probably Saving Forever for You, I think, and I can't find that clip anywhere. It used to be on YouTube,
Really?
but like, just can you talk about that experience working with Babyface and just that? Because I feel like you had that sound kind of before Tony did. Like, yeah,
You know what's so funny that you mentioned Tony, because I remember when I did Don't Want to Love You, and when they played me the demo, it was Tony's voice on the
Wow.
yeah, because they told me, we have this new artist we're about to put out. Her name is Tony. I remember them telling me about Tony. She wasn't out yet. I think they brought her out on the soundtrack,
that
right?
soundtrack,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So when I got the demo, I was like, oh man, this song is dope. It was Tony's voice on the demo, from what I can remember. I was just so excited to work with them. Prior to Don't Wanna Love You, I worked with Babyface on a song called Turn Down the Lights. I think Turn Down the Lights was before that.
Okay.
So that was like my second time working with them.
At the beginning, we were playing Can We Talk, and you were saying that you were in the studio.
Yeah. I worked with Babyface and Daryl Simmons on
Shout out Daryl Simmons.
Yes, shout out to Daryl Simmons. And so I was in the studio with Daryl when they were Tevin Campbell had just finished Can We Talk, the vocals. And I remember my mom and I was sitting next to Daryl Simmons in the studio while he was piecing everything, together, comping his vocals.
The
So I was
magic
literally
happened.
in the studio when they were finishing up Can We Talk.
Did you know it was going to be a big hit?
I knew.
You did?
Yeah, I knew then that this is a smash. This is so good. I knew then it was going to be a hit.
I think that's one of the best R&B songs.
Yes.
And when I was in the studio listening to them comping the vocals, there was so much other stuff that, you can't put everything in a 3-minute song.
Right.
So Tevin was doing some crazy, like in a good way, crazy runs and crazy stuff on that record.
We're talking about Tevin Campbell. I've always felt like this, but I feel like you, Tracy Spencer, and a little bit later Tevin Campbell, y'all were kind of like the precursor to what we eventually got with like Monica, Brandy, Usher. Like y'all were kind of like that trifecta of like young, that like young Black. Because I remember my older sisters like clamoring to everything that y'all did, like all three of y'all.
Oh,
like, what do you remember about that time?
I just remember it was such a fun time.
Yeah.
There was never like a competition.
Mm-hmm.
We were all so supportive of each other. And I've known Tevin since the beginning of his career and Tracy. And so we were just like, living our best lives and just having a great time. Wow. It was such a fun. It wasn't like how I feel like today, it's so competitive.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
But we were all friends and we were all supportive of each other. So.
And then y'all made music, like, y'all were young and y'all were kids, but y'all made music that the whole family could listen to. It wasn't like...
It was such a different
They weren't
time.
like, oh, that's whack because this little kid singing it. Like, I Love Your Smile was played, like, everybody jammed to that.
Thank you.
And I just feel like now it's such a huge, huge difference between if this is a kid's record, it's like super kiddie or it's like super explicit to where you don't want the kids to listen to it. So yeah, I
what's
do
so
miss
funny?
those
I was
days.
thinking about when I hate to go back to I Love Your Smile, but since you brought it up, I remember I told you that I thought it was kind of like corny. And so one day I was on Instagram and Snoop Dogg was singing I Love Your Smile. And I laughed to myself because I was like, man, I thought this record was corny. Now I got the hardest of the hardest.
You got Snoop Dogg
Singing.
over there, blunt in hand.
Yes, singing I Love Your Smile. So I was like, oh, and then I got to also give a shout out to Chris Brown for Undecided.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that introduced me to a whole new generation.
And cha-ching.
Yes.
And cha-ching.
Thank you, Chris.
We sound crazy.
I wish from our special guest this week, Shanice. That's one of my personal favorites. I had to drop that in there.
so much. I love that
It's
song.
the vocal arrangement.
Yeah.
You hear the stacking
Yeah,
right there?
that's Tony and Lance from Low Key.
That sounds so good.
Produced that. Yeah, and wrote it.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Thank you.
That album, 21 Ways to Grow, right?
Yes.
My favorite song from that album is, it was like the closing track. I think it was Never Changing Love.
Oh, that was Diane Warren too.
Really?
Diane Warren wrote that.
I love that record. I
Thank
still
you.
bump that to this day.
Thank you. You know what? I love 21 Ways to Grow. I just feel like, when I did I Love Your Smile with Narda, I had one producer, so it was consistent through the whole album. And 21 Ways to Grow, I had favorite songs on that album, but I didn't feel like it was consistent.
cohesive, yeah.
It had great songs.
It's so funny because
But
every artist we have on here says the same thing.
yeah.
And yet,
And I'm going
it
to tell you
still
why that
happens.
happened. I'm going to tell you why that happened. Because the label said that I was too pop.
What?
Yeah, they said
What?
I was too pop for when I Love Your Smile came out. They, but it was number one on the R&B chart.
yeah.
So it was R&B and pop. So they said, we're forgetting our Black fans. So when I did the 21 Ways to Grow album, they brought in all these different producers. They tried to purposely make it more R&B because we didn't have enough R&B in the. They think
so crazy.
Yeah, so that's where they made. Honestly, that's where they made the mistake on the second album. But there were great songs. There were some great songs on that album. Trust me. But I just feel like somewhere. Yes. That was Christopher Williams wrote that, and Kayama. I don't know Kayama's.
China's dad.
China's dad.
Yeah. Shout out to Faith Evans.
Yeah, shout out
Faith
to
Evans, that's my girl.
Yeah.
We should play a game.
You want to play a game?
Yes.
Can we take it to the bridge?
Take it to the
Take it to the
bridge.
bridge.
Let's play Take It to the Bridge.
So
We do have a vocalist in the building.
Y'all scaring me with y'all scaring me now.
Amen and amen.
So, Shanice, we take it to the bridge because bridges are just, to me, some of the best parts of some songs.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah.
And we press play on some of our favorite bridges. we all sing along, and then we stop, and then you take it from there. Hopefully you know the song.
You take it to the bridge.
Oh God! Oh Lord Jesus!
But you know, this is light work for you.
It's light work.
Yeah, we be seeing the covers on YouTube.
Right.
Let's try. Let's go here. Let's see what you do.
Let's see what
I'm so scared.
Okay.
Say shoot, they do. Oh, hearts are often broken when their words unspoken. In your soul, there's answers to your.
If you're searching for a place you know, familiar face. What's the word with the words? Go.
You find yourself.
You're halfway there. Sometimes you. I don't know. I can't remember the words.
You know that one.
1 point for Shanice.
1 point.
No, let me tell you. I know melodies, but I'm so bad with lyrics.
Okay, well, scat.
right.
Like Ella's in the room.
I don't want to look.
Let's go round 2.
Okay. Okay.
No one else can make me feel the colors that you bring.
Stay with me while we grow old, and we will live each day in the springtime. Loving you has made my life so beautiful.
Yes, Lord.
And every day of my life is filled with loving you.
Good Lord.
See, usually,
2 points.
no, see, usually we join in, but I couldn't join in.
couldn't.
I couldn't mess that up. I couldn't do nothing with that. I couldn't do nothing with that.
It sounds okay.
So good.
2 points. 2 points for sure.
Oh God. What is he gonna
That was a
hit
good
me
one,
with?
Phil.
Yeah, man.
That was a good one.
I'm scared.
So am I.
I'm so bad with words. I forget my own words sometimes.
This one, you actually did background vocals on this song.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. It's one of your friends too.
Great song.
But I got a story for you.
If you only knew what you really do, I never had no one who loves me quite like you do. You could spend half a lifetime trying to find one like you. That's why I'm so glad I found you, baby.
I wished upon a star and it came true. Don't live, I need you to love. Hold me, touch me deep in my soul. There's no one to share. I got the words wrong. Tell you, I'll never let you go, baby. Okay, stop it.
I mean, when you sing it that good, you know.
Oh, no.
So you didn't sing on that record?
No, but I have a story about the record.
Okay.
Faith doesn't even know this story, but I'm going to share.
Please do.
So originally that record was written at my house. So Damon Thomas wrote the record on my little keyboard at my house, and he was trying to place a song on my album, and he wrote that song for me. And then when he played it for Babyface, I think it ended up going on Faith, which Faith killed the record.
Yeah.
She killed it.
No, she killed it. But the song was written in my house.
Well, I knew there was a connection.
I've never been told Faith that story. I'm gonna tell her. I
That's crazy.
Forgot to tell her, but that song was written for me at my house.
Wow.
I believe this one you did vocals on. I could be wrong again, but let's see. Take it to the bridge. Let's see.
Tony Braxton. I say. Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Bring back those nights when I held you beside me. unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. Undo this hurt you caused when you walked out the door and walked out of my life. Uncry these tears I cried so many nights. Unbreak my heart, sweet darling. Come back and say you love me. Unbreak my heart, sweet darling. Without you, I just can't go on.
Come on.
Oh my God.
The game has been won.
Yes.
She's won.
I got one more. I know you're gonna know this.
Good Lord. My face is melting.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh my God.
Oh, I did the say that you love me.
And can I say something lightweight? That's one of the best parts of the song.
That makes so much sense. Wow.
Unbreak my, say that you love me. Say that you love me. Tell me you love me. Unbreak my.
Come on.
That was me at the end.
So this one, I think you know this one.
Oh.
Oh no, my God.
One of my favorites.
One of my favorites as well.
This time I realize been holding this in for too long, but I am to be strong. Can't turn back. I've been there for you, and now I must do what I should have yesterday.
Good Lord.
Come on now.
Oh my God.
First of all, original key.
Yeah.
Sitting down.
Sitting down.
And I was not prepared for this. I would have done my vocal exercises and been real prepared.
The real ones don't need all that. The real ones don't need all that.
Game one.
It's won.
Game one.
Good Lord.
You won.
You won.
Take to the bridge. Hey.
That's singing right there. That's
Listen.
singing.
Listen.
Wow. What is, I'm sure she's taught you a lot down through the years, but is there one thing that you just always go to whenever like times get rough, or like whenever you're having just an issue where you feel like your career is not where it needs to be? Like, is there anything that you feel like she and your aunt and your family has instilled in you that you still abide by this day?
Yeah, the one thing I've always that my family instilled in me is that you have to have other things that you love. It can't just be music, you know, because music's gonna have its ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have your interest in other things, like, you know, definitely I have my kids, my husband, my family, you know, I have other things that I love. And because when the industry, if you just put all your eggs in one basket, and then when things are a little slow or not how you would like for it to be, you could literally lose your mind. Like, if that's all you have.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I've learned. And I think that's why I still have my sanity.
I love
And,
that.
and the sanity is the most important thing.
Exactly. So, and I look at a lot of people now, I look at the you know, like the Britney Spears and all the young people today, and they're like having nervous breakdowns and doing drugs and, you know, and I think I just want to applaud my family for, you know, always keeping me grounded, always being there, and the fact that I have other things that interest me, you know, besides music. And I also want to say, when I'm feeling a little down about my career and my music and stuff, I get on social media and it pulls me right back up. I want to thank social media because
That's so good.
I have to say this, I don't care about the industry. I love my fans so much because when I was feeling like, dang, do I even want to do this anymore? I would get on, I had this one fan on YouTube that was posting all these videos and really pushing, you know, all my music and stuff, and was begging me to come back out as an artist. And I said, you know what? Forget about these executives and these record companies. As long as the fans want to hear me, that's all that matters. And that I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking about giving up, as far as my career goes. I was thinking about not singing anymore. I went through a really down period where I didn't want to do it. And then the one fan I was telling you about on YouTube encouraged me, and just all of my fans. And I said, forget them. I'm going to put out my own independent album. And that's when I did Every Woman Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
In 2006. Shout out to Richard Nash and Vita Nash for that. And I was like, you know what? I could do it myself. As long, and I'm on these tours. I've been doing a lot of live shows, and like all these 90s tours are like selling out.
Yeah.
So that shows you that the public wants
want it.
They want it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, screw the record companies, So that's where I am.
I'm glad you didn't quit.
Thank you.
So glad you
We
didn't
need
quit.
that voice.
We do.
Your voice.
Yeah, I love that album as well. Forever Like a Rose is my favorite. from that record.
Thank you. Thank you.
We sound crazy.
You hear that run?
When I close my eyes,
When I close my eyes.
I break down and cry about the way you love me.
That,
So good.
I'm proud to say Young Phil promoted that song on radio.
Come on,
Thank
man.
you for
Sure
it.
did.
That was a big.
No,
that
Phil
was,
played a big part.
That was-
Really.
yeah.
That was Baby Phil. That was
Thank you.
18-year-old
Yeah,
Phil.
that was-
Baby
that was
Phil.
That was,
Baby Phil.
that was 18-year-old Phil.
Yeah, we was
That's
up and down that
crazy.
Mid-Atlantic Northeast and in the
Man.
markets and stations.
Yeah, we were working
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I used my 6th grade graduation money to buy.
You like spent all your change.
Yes.
Was written and produced by Warren Campbell
Baby
and
Dub.
Tamara Savage.
Yes.
Tamara
co-wrote
Savage,
it
yeah.
with Warren.
Yeah.
And Warren was a baby too. I remember we were all like young, and Warren was a little younger than me. But I remember feeling like, who is this kid? He's a genius.
Yeah.
Like he literally played every instrument on the song. He can sing his butt off.
Yes, he can.
Like that bridge, that was all Warren came up with all. Like they came up with all that. Like Warren he's a really dope vocal producer.
Yeah.
Yes.
He really pushed
And a
me.
good person.
And a
Yeah,
great
he's a
person.
great
Great person.
And he's also my pastor. I go to his church. So now he's my pastor.
Cali worship, hello.
Cali worship.
Shout out to Campbell's.
Yes, I
Campbell,
love
we
the
love the
Campbell
Campbell.
family.
We love it. We haven't had Warren on, but we've had Erica on.
You've had
First
Erica.
lady.
I
No, we
love-
actually had Warren on audio.
Yeah, we
yeah.
called him.
Yeah,
we
we
need
need
him
to
in
have him
person.
on. Yeah, we need to have him on.
We have a million questions.
Yes, I will tell him.
I feel like you've been around so much music that you must have heard songs. Well, yeah, I know you've heard songs before they came out, but are there songs you heard and you were like, damn, I want that one. Damn, I wish that was mine.
Hey, there's a lot of songs that I love that I wish was mine. A lot of I love Beyonce gets a lot of great
She had some
songs.
good songs. She had some good songs.
Like to the left, to the left. I remember when I heard that, I was like, dang, I would love to have a song like that, There's a lot of, Whitney had great songs.
Sure did.
Mariah.
And that pen. She
Oh
writing
my
them
gosh.
songs.
Song after song after song after
Yeah.
song.
My All.
My All,
That's
yes.
one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, My All is
too.
crazy.
I think
Yeah.
My All is my favorite Mariah Carey song.
Wow.
That is my favorite Mariah Carey song.
I might have to agree with you there. It's just masterfully written and performed.
And that's Walter A.
Yeah.
And classic ballads, let me tell
Walter A.
Phil played Whitney. You mentioned Whitney. I recently saw a live or something where you talked about how Whitney wanted you to like sing a song with her
She
at
did.
one time.
She
Like,
did.
can you just talk about that and then just your relationship with her? Because I know you had that relationship. You
Yeah.
sang background on a couple of her records.
Yeah, Babyface had me singing. Like at one point, L.A. Reid was like, "Okay, you're doing way too many backgrounds." Because Babyface used to have me on like
Everything. Yeah.
everything. Usher, Tony, Whitney, Mary. Like I can't even remember everybody. But what was the question? Oh,
Whitney.
So Whitney, we were always like. Whitney was always very nice to me. As a matter of fact, when I got married, she sent me a gift when Flex and I got married. And there's a guy named Don Juan. He's been working with Whitney for years, like doing her sound and everything. So he called me one day. I missed the call, but he said, I had Whitney on the phone because she said she wants to do a duet with you and she wants Babyface to produce it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, yes, let's do it. And I was super, super excited. And I don't know why it didn't happen. I just got to say that much. But Whitney wanted it to happen. I wanted it to happen. But you know how with the labels and all that stuff, it didn't happen.
When did you first meet her?
Oh my gosh. Dang. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Well, my friend Don Juan, who I mentioned before, he introduced me to her like years and years and years ago, but I can't remember. I think she was about to perform and I came to one of her sound checks and, you know, and I met her there. And I think it was like right after Bobby Christina was born.
Okay.
I came and I got to sit with her at her sound check. And that was like, I think I remember that's the first time we met. Wow. And I was like fanning out, like, because honestly, she had the greatest voice. I think probably one of the greatest voices I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all ever heard.
I agree. I agree. You've been around legends the whole time. So do you ever fan out? Like, is there other people that make you nervous?
Yes. Okay, I got to tell y'all a couple of stories. Okay.
Do share.
Yes. I got to share this one because this one makes me laugh. So I did some background work with the boys. Remember the boys?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I did some background with work with them at Paisley Park at Prince's studio. Prince wasn't there that day. But then later on, I went to a New Kids on the Block concert and Prince was at the after party. And I said, okay, I'm going to go up to Prince and tell him I recorded at his studio. And so I talked to Prince. And I said, I'm Shanice. I recorded with the boys at your studio. And he said, nice to meet you. Do you know I walked away, went into the bathroom and cried. I literally was crying like, this is Prince. I can't believe I met Prince.
At the after party.
After party, I'm in the bathroom crying because I met Prince. Wow. Like I loved Michael Jackson and Prince, like both of them.
Yeah.
So I fanned out when I met Prince. And I remember I kind of fanned out when I met Jay-Z.
Okay.
It's crazy because he walked into a room and he walked right in front of me and I just stood there like, I didn't say anything and I felt stupid because my husband knows Jay-Z, right? And I was like, Flex, I said, I didn't know what to say and I just stood there and I didn't say hi, I didn't say anything. So I have moments when I do kind of fan
And it's crazy because you're Shanice.
I know.
You're Shanice.
Like, I just stood there like, what? And then when I met Michael Jackson, I fanned out with Michael, but for some reason, Michael made me feel so comfortable. I was like nervous in the beginning, but then when I sat down with Michael, I sat in his trailer when he was doing the Moonwalker video, and we talked for like over an hour. Yeah, in the beginning, I was so scared, but then as we started talking, and he was so kind to me, I started feeling more relaxed. And you know, he told me, he said, "You know your song No Half Steppin'?" He said, "I sing to that at night." In my dance studio. He has a dance studio in his house. He said, I like to dance to No Half Steppin'. And I'm like, you dance to my song?
The biggest compliment ever.
Yes. And we started talking about Seth Riggs. We had the same vocal coach. So we just started talking about how much we love Seth Riggs and just all kind of stuff. So I actually had a real conversation with Michael, but I did fan out in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I was super nervous.
That's crazy.
You said vocal coach. How do you, and this is probably good for all the singers out there, what do you do to preserve that magical voice of yours? Do you have a regimen?
Well, I do like with everything that Steph taught me with all the vocal, warm-ups and stuff. It really, if you consistently do it, it really does strengthen your voice and it really does help.
It's a muscle.
It's a muscle. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Right. And now that I'm a little bit older, you know, since I Love Your Smile.
Just a couple days.
Yeah. I try not to drink alcohol. Dries your alcohol will dry you out. And then I have acid reflux. So I know there's certain foods I can't eat. Like I can't have tomatoes and onions and
no onions.
Certain foods I cannot eat before I sing because it would literally like cut my voice.
Yeah, dry your voice out.
Yeah, so post nasal drip and acid reflux. So it's a little different now. You know, now when I have to sing, I have to be careful about what I eat, what I drink, like all of that.
That's maintenance that you can still do what you do.
But back in the day, I didn't have to think about that. I would just
get
get up
there and did it.
And you know what's so funny? When I sat with Michael, another thing we talked about was he told me he couldn't sing in the mornings. He said, my voice, like I have to warm up first. And I remember saying as a kid, I don't have to warm up. I just get up and sing. And now, like when I wake up, I do have to warm up.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
But then you're able to sit down like as poised as you are and sing songs in the original key.
Yeah, and you guys caught me off guard with that one. I'm like,
That's where all those vocal warm-ups, it pays off.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
It pays off.
Do you have a dream collaboration at this point?
several. I love Bruno Mars because I love that he mixes the old school sound with the new sound. I love Beyonce. Gosh, there's so many. In the gospel world, I love, like I said, Karen Clark. I love
That is
Karen
crazy.
Clark.
We're gonna double back and have a Karen moment.
But if I could do something with Beyonce or like Bruno Mars, you know, I would love that.
We touched on how Babyface basically had you singing on a lot of records, and you've done background.
Or
like-
even Babyface.
Yeah.
I would love to do
Yeah,
a duet with
yeah,
Babyface.
yeah,
I've worked with him, but never
We
got
never
a chance
did a
to do
duet with him.
That's
We never
crazy.
did a duet
Wow.
with yeah.
I would love that right now, like
Yes.
today on the radio.
Yes.
And you know what? And I have something which gave me the idea. He produced Barbra Streisand,
Yeah.
and it was a duet CD. And then so he had nobody to because he wanted Barbara to hear the ideas, so he didn't have anybody to help him demo it. So he did all I sang on all of Barbra Streisand's demos.
Wow.
What?
So it was his voice doing the male parts. I did
So you
Barbra
already know what it
Streisand's
sounds
part.
like.
So when I listened to the demos, I was like, dang, this would be dope if we could put this out. So
And I was
or
gonna-
put out a duet.
I was gonna ask you, what is it about? I think I know because I mean you can sing your ass off, but
Thank you.
what is it about your working relationship with him and just the synergy that where he feels like, you know what, I trust her enough to put her on these records or to demo records so that I can properly sell it to the people that I'm trying to pitch it to?
You know what? When I was working with him, we worked so fast together. Honestly, I really love doing vocals with him because a lot of producers, they overthink and they're like, do it again. You're too sharp. You're too this, you're too that. Da, 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 da. And then they take like a whole day just to lay backgrounds, right? But with Babyface, like we'll go in an hour and have a whole song done in an hour. You know, I promise you that. We would go in so fast and record. Yeah. So I love that about him.
That's why he was calling.
really,
Right.
I really do.
I will add, just as a songwriter and vocal producer, that there are just certain people with certain voices.
Yeah.
That sell
And then I feel like
records.
our voices blend well together
absolutely.
as well.
We sound crazy.
There is a bomb in
Sing, Shanice.
medicine used in the Bible days to heal the sick and take the pain away. Medicine used in the Bible days to heal the sick and take the pain away. Come on. Medicine used in the Bible days to heal the sick. There is a bomb in Gilead.
High five me over here. Come on.
Crazy. This
You
is
feel what I'm saying to
crazy.
you?
Y'all don't understand. Okay, let me tell you. So I am obsessed with Karen Clark, right?
As well, me too.
And when I was a kid, I met her when I was back in the day, like back in the day. I remember I met her and she had on all white. And I remember saying, she's a real angel. She's wearing white. I was like, she has on all white. She's an angel.
Even when she's singing, it doesn't feel real.
It's so unreal.
I'm like, how is that coming out of a person?
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I love her so much.
One of your favorite-
And then she passed it down to
And
Kiki.
then Kiki is the same thing.
Kiki Shear is the same. It's like a
And
clone,
it's
like
just-
the same voice.
Someone
It's
not
insane.
water in Detroit.
I said, man, Kiki was hearing all that good singing when she
Yeah,
was in her mother's
yeah.
stomach.
Jesus.
Came out
What are some of
singing.
your favorite Karen songs? Obviously, Bomb and Gilead, but some of your favorites.
Jesus is a love song.
Jesus is a love song. Yes, Lord.
Oh my gosh. It's a song. Though the darkness hide.
Holy Thou Art Holy.
Holy Thou Art
I
Holy.
play that. I had some low moments where I had to play that over and over.
I
get
love
there.
that's one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
So when
yes.
people when I'm in church and they put me on the spot, oh, Shanice is here. Oh, come on, sing a little something. I'm like, though the darkness hideth thee, sinful man, thy glory not see, but holy thou art holy. There is none like thee. There is none like thee.
My God.
I just got chills. I can't. I'm done.
So
That's
good.
my favorite.
That's one of my favorites too.
I love that song.
That song's brought me through some things.
Wait, so I've always wanted to see someone tribute you. You know, you see tributes all the time.
Thank you.
I want to know when that should happen, because it's coming.
It will.
Who would you pick? Like 3 or 4 singers that you would pick to sing your songs?
Definitely my girl Faith.
Mm-hmm.
I love Faith Evans. Tracy Spencer is my girl.
Okay.
You know, we go way back. Gosh, there's so many great singers out there, and I know once I'm finished, I'm going to be like, I should have said. Who else? There's so many greats. Lettucey is amazing to me. Gosh, I know I'm missing somebody. Beyonce. Beyonce.
You gotta.
Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you need singers to sing
There's
to a
so
singer.
many. There's so many. And I know I'm forgetting somebody, but yeah.
That side of the couch has done a lot of records for those people you just mentioned.
Yeah.
We have
Lettucey.
Really?
Jasmine.
And of course, we all love Shantae Moore.
Yes.
Ooh,
I love
Shantae.
Deborah. I love Deborah
Yeah.
Cox. I love Tamia.
To me, I
It's
can hear
so
Tamia
many.
over.
Yeah.
I love Tamia. There's
Yeah.
so many out there that I love. Jill Scott.
Love Jill.
Wow.
Who do you listen to now? Is there anything you love that's out now? How are you feeling R&B today?
I love. Gosh. Who would I love right now? Oh gosh, I'm being put on the spot. Who's out there right?
And it could be nobody, by the way. It could be
No, you know what? Who's the Tori Kelly?
Tori Kelly. Yeah.
Isn't she insane?
We work with Tori
I
too.
love Tori Kelly.
Yeah.
Gosh, everybody that I named prior.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. You said
And
Jasmine, too.
and
Yeah,
Jasmine.
Jasmine for sure.
And then everyone laughs at me, but when you get into my car, it's all rap music.
Really?
So I listen to a lot of hip hop. When we get into my husband's car, it's all old school R&B. And when you get into my car, you would think it would be the other way around.
Yes,
you would
I
think my
would.
car would be R&B and Flex's car would be hip hop. But
Shout out to Flex.
Shout out to
My
Flex.
brother. Shout out to Flex, man.
so I love hip hop. So I listen to a lot of rap music.
That actually is surprising.
What's your go-to? Like you pulling out the garage, about to get on the highway. What's that go-to rap song that you, or hip hop song that you turn on? Like, okay, I'm in my
When
zone.
I hear that, when I hear dirt off the shoulders, I'm like literally in the car. Like,
So now we know if you
Yeah, yeah.
pass
And I
Denise
love-
on
and
the
I got-
highway, you know that she's thugging it out in that car.
and let me tell you this, I love Kanye West too.
Me too.
And I actually, because he asked me to be in his choir when he had the choir.
Oh yeah.
I never publicly mentioned it, but I was like in the choir.
Wait,
Really?
you were in the Sunday
Sunday
service
service?
I was
choir?
in the Sunday service choir. I did it for like months too. I traveled with them and everything, and I never publicly said anything.
Wow.
And because what happened was, I took Flex to Sunday service. It was like on a Father's Day one time, and I just went just to hear them sing. And while the sopranos were singing their parts, I was listening and I was like singing along with the sopranos. And then afterwards, Kanye said, "Hey, I saw you over there singing." He said, "Why don't you sing in the choir?" And I said, "Okay," because I love Kanye. So I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And I did it for about maybe like 4 months.
That's
maybe 4 or 5
crazy.
months.
What was that experience like?
It was actually a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. Like literally every week we would get so many songs thrown at us. Like Monday we would learn like maybe 10 new songs and had to sing them by the weekend, you know. So it kept my mind sharp because I had to take in so much information and, and sometimes right before we go on, he would change things. So you had to be sharp.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but
Did you know this, Phil?
I had no idea.
I never said anything.
Yeah.
That's
I was in
crazy.
Sunday service. Yeah. I was.
Is that an exclusive? I've
Even,
never heard
you know
that.
what? Listen, I want to say this. Even when we did, what's the show, the karaoke show in the car karaoke?
With
James
Corden.
Yeah.
So remember when Kanye did it on the airplane?
Yeah.
I was on the airplane.
You were not on the airplane.
I was. You'll see me. I had on a hat. I had on a black hat. They actually showed my face and everything.
Yeah, why? I'm be looking for Shanice and everything I see. And I'll be like, is she?
I was in the choir. Yeah.
That is, but I love that you did it for the love.
I actually did it for the love because I'm a fan just like everybody else. I love his work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and Claude say all the time, we miss choirs so much.
I do.
Just
Me too. I
the
grew up singing
community
in
of
choirs.
Yeah.
I actually sang, and then this is going to trip you out too, which I'm telling my age. But when I was a kid, I sang in James Cleveland's choir, and I was like the only kid in the adult choir.
Yo,
I was
you
the
just
only
did
kid
everything.
in the adult choir.
That's
so I've been
crazy.
singing in church and singing in choirs since I was little.
I do miss the thing about choir. Obviously the music, but it's like you get together. It's not all the stuff that we now have to deal with the industry. You're just in there. You go to your section. You sing all the way out. You sweat it out in there. And you leave. And that when it all comes together, there's nothing like when a choir comes together.
Exactly.
I miss it.
I miss it too.
I'm telling you, we need to do an industry choir.
Yes.
Let's do it right now. Let me start it.
Yeah.
right now.
We're the first
Right
round.
now. Yeah, right now.
Wouldn't it be dope if, like, I mean, we all have busy lives and things, and there's always lawyers and PR people, but like, we're like, yo, everyone, if you're in town, meet at Cali Worship, right?
Yeah.
And come as you are, kind of like what Quincy did with We Are the World. Leave your ego at the door.
Oh yeah, like we are
and
the
you
world.
just get to your section.
That
You
would
might
be
be sitting.
dope.
You might be sitting next to Shanice. You might be sitting next to Erica Campbell. You might be sitting next to
That's
Phil.
a dope idea.
Yeah.
That's a dope.
You don't want to be
idea.
in my section.
and making songs that everyone already knows. Nothing, and just
And
jam
just
out,
sing.
just sing.
Yeah,
You-
I like that.
do
You
know what I
should
mean?
You should make that happen.
I would love to.
Do y'all remember that song that Heavy D put out with the boys called "Now That We Found Love"?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I
Yeah.
think that would be an awesome choir song.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
heard
that-
it
yeah,
I can
the
hear
other day
that.
on the
It
radio.
would
I
be.
think
I
that
can
would be
hear
a great
I
choir
can hear
song.
that. Kirk
Phil?
Franklin would kill that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do I feel like Phil? Make it happen.
Come
Make
on,
it happen,
Phil.
Okay. Consider it done.
Yeah, man.
That's a great idea.
Esther Roll.
Award.
It's about that time for the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award. So let me explain to you how this works. Every episode, we carve out this time to honor someone who we feel deserves all the flowers, all the love, and may not have gotten the way we think they deserve to get it. We all nominate someone, and then every week we give out an award to the Irby winner.
I'm just going to jump ahead and throw my nomination out. I feel it's appropriate.
It is.
It is.
Hearing all of the
is.
legends, the journey.
It is.
Yes.
Shanice is my nomination on the table this week.
I second
you.
that
Third.
motion.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes you don't gotta vote. Sometimes
Yeah,
it
it's
just
just-
is what it is.
It is
No,
what it
you
is.
are deserving, and
Yes.
we love you, and we celebrate
too.
you for real. Like
Love you
you,
too.
Yeah,
you've
man.
done so much, and just So this week's winner of the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award, the
100%.
one and only Shanice,
Yes. For all that you do.
for all that you do,
all that you
and
do.
will continue to
so
do.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate. You know, it's so funny when you played Esther Roll. I said, "Oh, they're probably going to ask me if I remember some of her words from Good Times."
It's like, damn.
I was like, "Damn."
I just want to, as we're about to wrap, but I want to say what's interesting at the top of the conversation. You said that when you were young, people said you smile too much, and so you wrote, "I love your smile," and it's interesting because your spirit is infectious. You make people
Yes.
smile. Your
Thank
music makes people smile.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've been sitting here like, I'm like, Claudia, are you smiling too much on camera? My cheeks hurt.
no, my
Are you
face
serious? My
hurts.
face
Thank
hurts.
It's true.
you.
It's
So
really true.
it's funny because what was a critique is actually a gift.
Thank you.
Because it literally is joy. I feel a lot of love here, but I feel joy from playing your music, from talking to you about it. So thank God you didn't quit. And thank
I
God you're
appreciate
here
that.
still doing it.
Thank
Killing
you.
the game.
Thank you so
Sitting
much.
down, killing the game.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it really does my heart good to know that we used to clamor for everything Shanice back in the day, and to see you still thriving.
Yeah.
Right.
Singing
you.
the way that you have been for years, still sounding amazing.
I
And,
appreciate
like,
you guys.
please don't ever stop.
Oh, I'm not.
You
I'm
better not.
No.
Like,
No.
we love you,
This is
and
just
we
the
need you.
beginning.
it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you've done so much, and at the same time, you're an amazing mom, and the actress. I mean, it's a lot, and there's still so much to come. I can't wait to hear what happens next.
Thank you so
Cannot
much.
wait. All right, so before I'm gonna give
And
you a
shout
minute.
out to you, both your kids, but shout out to your daughter because I follow her on TikTok.
Yes,
and so when
Imani.
Imani, I'm
I
like-
got shout out to Imani, and my son is Elijah. You're going to be hearing from him soon too.
Okay.
But yeah, my daughter she put out a song. Do you know that her and China wrote her song together?
I did not.
China comes to our house and writes music
I
with
love
Imani.
China, by the way. Shout out China.
So
as
they've
well.
written about maybe 7 songs.
Really?
Her and China together.
I love that.
I love it.
Yeah.
China's Faith Evans' daughter.
Yes.
Faith
Yeah,
Evans'
yeah,
daughter.
I would say the legacy continues.
Yes, wrote a song with my daughter. And actually, China helped shoot her little, video. She put out a music video.
Actually, I just saw this. 'Cause I follow China.
China
yeah.
shot it and co-wrote the song with Imani.
So Imani and Elijah, how old are they now?
So Imani is 22 and Elijah's 20.
Time
But
flies.
why do I feel like I'm just 25?
Okay, because you are.
That's
you
so
are.
weird to say. It's so
And that's why
weird.
it's a miracle,
That's
because
how-
she's 25.
Yeah.
and you're 20.
But Imani, she is doing her thing. We just put out a video of us singing the theme song, the One-on-One. I looked on her TikTok and it's like over 6 million views. So Imani, she's doing really well. Like, she loves to sing. She loves to write, and she's super talented.
Yeah, man.
So you guys will be hearing more. From
I would
her,
love
for
to,
sure.
yes.
And my son.
Send us
Wait till y'all
music,
hear my
please.
son. He can sing too.
Send us music, please, because we'll share
I
it and
will.
promote it here and
sure
all this
will.
stuff. Yeah.
I will.
So before we wrap, we ask our special guest to choose a song that you think, and it could be any song in the world, but a song that you think wraps up this experience, this conversation. Take it to. We'll thank our sponsors in the
The rest
meantime.
of this conversation.
Yeah, just how you feel. It could be anything. But go ahead, Phil.
Make sure you follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com.
And thank you for our friends at Visit Music City. Thank you so much for supporting us.
And make sure you're following Shanice and supporting everything she does.
Yes.
Socials.
And Imani and Elijah.
And Imani and Elijah.
They got
Yeah,
music
yeah,
on the
yeah.
way.
The
So
whole fam. All right, you ready? This is the big moment.
whatever song, you just tell us what song to play and we gonna play it and we.
A song to play. I Have Nothing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
That's my favorite Whitney song. I Have Nothing.
That's a good way to go out.
I love it. Thank you to our special guest, Shanice. Thank you so much.
Oh, you know what? No,
Okay.
I want to go off on a high note.
Okay.
I say 24 Karat by
By Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. Yeah, because I want to go off like.
Let's
Yeah.
go off turning
Yeah.
up.
I want to turn up.
I like
How
that.
about that?
Okay.
Let's turn up there.
Yeah, man.
Unless you can play 2. If you can play Whitney and Bruno, that.
For you, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
For you, we
Done.
Okay.
Thank you, Shanice, our special guest. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming by.
you.
Yes.
You guys are the best.
Thank you. Come back again, please.
Yeah.
Come back
I
again.
will.
Yes.
I will.
Until next week, y'all, we out of here. We sound crazy.
Peace.
24 karat magic in the air. Don't make me close one more door. I don't wanna hurt.
We sound crazy.